We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Trump pleads not guilty. Jean-Pierre violates the Hatch Act, and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lupkin, and here's the news you need to know. Former President Donald Trump on Tuesday pleaded not guilty in a Miami federal court to criminal charges over his handling of national security secrets, the first time the Justice Department has charged a former president with a crime. Trump was accused in a 37-count indictment of trying to keep sensitive defense and nuclear information at his Mar-a-Lago residence in Palm Beach, Florida, and lying to federal officials trying to recover the material. Former Trump aide Walt Nauta was charged with conspiring with Trump to obstruct justice. Supporters outside the courthouse chanted, "We love Trump." Later, Trump said at his Beauminster, New Jersey resort, the case was political persecution, like something straight out of a fascist or communist nation. A government watchdog warned White House Press Secretary Jean-Pierre that she violated the Hatch Act by referring to, quote, mega MAGA Republicans, unquote, in the lead-up to the 2022 midterm elections, NBC News reported Tuesday. The U.S. Office of Special Counsel sent a letter to Jean-Pierre informing her of the determination the Hatch Act limits federal employees' political activities to ensure federal programs are administered in a nonpartisan fashion. A conservative group, Protect the Public Trust, filed the complaint after Jean-Pierre in November said mega MAGA Republicans didn't believe in the rule of law. After an investigation, OSC decided to close the matter without further action, despite its finding. Instant Brands, maker of Pyrex glassware and Instant Pot cooking gadgets, has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection as inflation added to its long-standing financial troubles. The Chicago-based company said in its filing with the U.S. Bankruptcy Court for the Southern District of Texas that it has more than $500 million in both assets and liabilities. The company benefited from a pandemic-fueled surge in home cooking, but sales plunged after lockdowns were lifted and people could go out. Inflation later forced U.S. households to cut spending, and sales dropped further. Sales of electronic multi-cooker devices, most of them Instant Pots, soared to $758 million in 2020 and plummeted to $344 million last year. U.S. District Judge Edward Davil on Tuesday temporarily blocked Microsoft's planned $69 billion deal to acquire video game maker Activision Blizzard. Davil has scheduled a 2-day evidentiary hearing for next week to consider the Federal Trade Commission's request to prevent the deal from going through during an administrative review of the case. Davil said the temporary restraining order is necessary to maintain the status quo while the complaint is pending and preserve the court's ability to order effective relief in the event it determines a preliminary injunction is warranted. The FTC argues that the deal would reduce competition by giving Microsoft's Xbox consoles exclusive access to Activision games like Call of Duty. Microsoft said the deal would benefit gamers. Riley Gaines, the former NCAA standout swimmer at Kentucky and current independent women's voice advisor, took issue with the answer White House Press Secretary Jean-Pierre gave about transgender participation in women's sports. Jean-Pierre was asked what the White House would say to a parent who was worried about their daughter and her safety when it came to competing against a transgender girl in an arena like high school sports. Jean-Pierre responded to the reporter saying what he was alluding to was that transgender kids are dangerous. She called it a dangerous thing to say and pushed back on the so-called broad example that she was given. Gaines tweeted about the exchange late Tuesday. When they say inclusion, just know they really mean exclusion, she tweeted. In a move reminiscent of her basket of deplorables comment, Hillary Clinton, the former Secretary of State and Trump's 2016 Democratic rival, described the GOP as more of a cult than a political party at this point, because they are sticking with Trump despite the charges against him. Senator Lindsey Graham responded to Clinton's claim, saying, "I'm an American who believes that if you believe Hillary Clinton should be prosecuted, you probably should believe that Trump should be prosecuted. If you believe she should get a pass, Trump should get a pass." Clinton kicked off the Trump investigations with the false Steele dossier that her campaign created to try to tie Trump to Russia. Clinton herself is known to have mishandled classified documents with a personal email server and to have had destroyed evidence. Clinton was not charged over these issues when she was Secretary of State. "No, I'm not in a cult," Graham continued. "You know I have taken the president on when I think he's wrong, but what they're doing to President Trump is a game changer for the presidency," he said. "They've taken the law and turned it upside down on numerous occasions to get him," Graham added. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of the Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com/podcasts, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Amazon Music, Audible, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.